The United States is dumping convicted criminals to Africa. To be specific, South Sudan. They're deporting convicted criminals to South Sudan, even though majority of these convicted criminals are not from South Sudan. So just because the other countries refused to accept these criminals, the US decided, why not dump them in Africa? So they're sending them off, they're shipping them off actually, to South Sudan. According to reports, the deportees convicted of crimes including murder, sexual assault, and robbery had either completed or were nearing the end of their prison sentence. Only one of the 8 individuals is from South Sudan, while the others are nationals of Myanmar, Cuba, Vietnam, Laos, and Mexico. US officials have said most of their home countries had refused to accept them. And this is what the spokesperson of Foreign Ministry of South Sudan had to say about it.
Official statement on the arrival of third country nationals and South Sudanese deported from the United States of America to South Sudan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation wishes to provide the following statement regarding the recent arrival of third country nationals and 1 South Sudanese deported from the United States of America to South Sudan. On the 5th of July 2025, 8 individuals, including 1 South Sudanese, arrived at Juba International Airport following standard deportation procedures undertaken by the government of the United States of America.
The timing of this is highly suspicious, especially considering that a few months ago, US Secretary of State revoking all visas of South Sudanese passport holders because they refused to accept deportees. It's quite suspicious. It's kind of looking like a blackmail. Once the US said, we are going to be revoking all of your visas because you refused to accept our deportees, now South Sudan all of a sudden is happy to receive these criminals, convicted criminals that mostly serve their time, but they still have a little bit of time left. They are saying, okay, the United States of America, we accept your offer and we will be happy to take them off your hands. All of a sudden, that change happening, it's quite suspicious. And just recently, South Sudan was labeled as unstable by the US State Department, and there was a warning against traveling to South Sudan, right? So clearly the US is not saying anything positive about South Sudan, but all of a sudden they want to deport these people that their home countries refused to have them back, and they are sending them to South Sudan. And now South Sudan is saying, okay, we're gonna receive them, and we are doing it in a way where we're both mutually respecting each other. How is this the United States respecting South Sudan's sovereignty and respecting South Sudan in general? Because they are deporting the people that their own home countries don't want them to be transported to. So you're allowing these people to come into your country. Why? Why? Is Africa a dumping ground? Is Africa okay with just accepting anybody and putting their own people at risk? How about Rwanda? Do you remember the deal between Rwanda and the UK? Even that at least was dragged on because of the disagreement, or they couldn't agree. They kept butting heads. Not just that, but in the UK, the politicians themselves couldn't agree within the countries. By the way, that was not convicted criminals. Those were asylum seekers that were waiting for their documentation. But then the UK didn't want them to wait in their own country. They wanted to send them to Africa while they wait for their documentation to be processed. It's just insane how African countries are just allowing this to happen. It's not a good look. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about